The following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 2.
When you think of figure skating, you think about two things: getting that perfect score, but also some fancy and nifty moves. And for our friend Nifty Nick, he'll have to figure out some interesting tactics. Because playing a guy in marble who's hard as a marble, Grant Stone, has nothing to lose in his debut after some incidents in round one, it'll be a different sight. Who's going to have the niftiest moves? Or will be that classic marble that's always reliable on your hand top that will break this ice and shatter away into the next round? We're about to find out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second round of this February Flurry between Nifty, MarbleCyde, the 4-5 matchup, Midwest versus our friend out there in the Netherlands. Going to be a classic one here. For Nifty, we're going to talk about his bracket and how he got here. For Marble, a little bit different style. But we'll go to that pot bracket. For Nifty, it was a interesting round one against Jackson. Down 1-0. Does the classic 1-0 reverse sweep 4-1. Gentleman sweeps it. And he moved on to this round. And Marble, of course, got the DQ win over Snipers, who unfortunately had some incidents pop up and couldn't play his match. The rest of this bracket, what a big win for Telna. Huge win over the 1 seed. There's been a 1 seed curse line. I'm sure many people have been following that. Only one left, and Bob Ross. Telna moves on. Then, ironically, we talked about this last night. Could we see a Nifty Dia match and a match made in heaven? We'll see. But first, we have to see what happens with Fitzy and Lemon. That is still to be determined. One day we'll play. We'll go to the scene now, and the scene is pretty interesting in today's chat. Joining me will be just me, but we do have our ref, Red, of course. Red, a prominent figure. I'll probably ask him some questions to try to get the mood right. And then, of course, I got Luke on scoreboard, and then our two players, Nifty and MarbleCyde. All right, well, I'm going to go to Red. Red, your thoughts on this match? Feel free to type it out. Luke, you as well. If you have any thoughts, go ahead. Since we have no commentator as the scoreboard operator, I always like to give my staff a chance to say their thoughts on this game. Feel free to type it out. But let's go to our two players. We're going to start off the home team, Nifty Nick. Nifty, obviously, man, we talked about this last night. There could be that fairy tale match coming if we can get there in the EA, but you got to worry about today. You're playing somebody that has absolutely nothing to lose in a sense. They're already behind and maybe in the win column with the DQ win. And you really haven't seen Marble play because there's no data or film. How do you attack and approach a game where you maybe don't have the film study, but you do have that ability to stay warm after playing your first round match against Jackson? Talk me through it. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, it was definitely nice to get some of the nerves out with the first game loss against Jackson and then winning the whole series with the other 4 in my favor. Something that Marble hasn't had yet in this season. While there isn't much to study as far as this year goes, there were 2 streamed matches that Marble had from last year that I did take some time to listen to while doing some chores in the background, just trying to get an assessment of the kind of player Marble could be in this match, even though it's been a while and maybe something's changed. Not entirely sure what his strategy is going to be in this match, but I know that, I'm the 4 seed, he's the 5 seed. I'm expecting this to be a pretty tight match either way, so I'm not dropping my guard for sure. I want to make sure that I push through into the round of 16. I haven't gotten there yet in MRE. And of course, the ultimate goal of the regional finals against Dia, if we can make it happen. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. There's still some nerves left there for sure.
Absolutely, and we'll go over to Marble as Nifty talked about some nerves. Marble, obviously a little bit different scenario for you today. For your first match of the season, you have some data to go back off of last year, but a completely new environment, stream game, first time out here. Talk to me about a situation maybe that's happened in the past, whether it be another competition, maybe a TWOW, or another thing that happened in your life where you're ready to go, you're fired up, round one, first day out of school, and first day of school, and then you got to wait for the second day of school to make your first impression. Talk to me about how you had to, I guess, encapsulate that moment and compartmentalize the DQ win as you get ready to play Nifty Nick. Wait for Red to see if he has any thoughts, or Luke. But Luke will be our scoreboard operator today, so I know he's got a lot of Habs juggling, all good if he can't say anything. And keep in mind, again, we have a mixed variety here. Right now, the winner of this game will control the region. We don't normally say that about a 4 or a 5, but with the 9-7 and potentially a 6 or a 14 lurking, the winner of this game controls. Winner of this game will be home. Of course, Talon with the upset and Bree. So Talon will be on the road. And no matter what happens, as I said, for either of these two players, I think it's going to be a good match. They are equally matched in terms of C line 4-5, and the fact that someone isn't playing the first round and Nifty had to figure him out with a little film study off the table will be an intriguing match. Of course, if Fitzy beats Lemon, he'll control that match with Dia as the half will still be determined. If Lemon wins, then it'll just be a classic Dia will be at home. So I caught you up on all that stuff. It's been an interesting tournament, as I said. A lot of 1 seeds are gone. A lot of 2 seeds are hanging on. And almost, I think it may be all gone. So it's really going to be a wide open tournament. We got a match right now going on in bottom region here in the ski jump. We got Shax and Rajan, the highest rated rookie coming into this tournament. Rajan looking to try to stake his claim as he is looking to go up 2-1 as it's a 1-1 tie down there in the ski jump as they go up to 1-up this time to the red 9 as he plays in game 3. Waiting for MarbleCyde to say his thoughts again. Asked him about just figuring out what it's like to be in this weird state of having to make an impression on the second day of school, per se, after your first day postponed. And sometimes it's house money, sometimes it isn't house money, for sure. I guess I go back to some of my hosting experiences where signups for TWOW are open, but it still takes some time before the season begins, right? That's the old classic pre-gaming, getting the season ready, a little bit of that pre-work. Gotta be patient before 12 kickoff and get into action. I don't mind having this happen, though. It gives me trying to prepare, get ready for the first play of the event. Truth be told, while also nervous, I'm just happy to play again today. Above all else, my first game of the season, first series. Yep, definitely not going to underestimate Nifty, but we're ready to see how it goes. Classic. Well, there's definitely one more interesting round alongside Scars and Rune. Yep, that was another 4-5. Yesterday in the D1 live show, Nifty mentioned a possibility of rematch with his partner Dia and him giving the best to make that happen. Meanwhile, for Marble, it's his first match. For either of these two, I think they both have the potential to come up on top and move on to the next round. We'll see how it goes. Well, I think that's enough for the pregame. Let's get into it. Classic here on 2 o'clock Eastern on January 28th. Let's see who's going to get that perfect 10 from the judges in the old figure skating region. For that, Red is our ref. I'm going to ask those most famous words to Nifty. You know how we do. You know how it goes. 5 to 15. CSR on. Where are we going for game 1?
I always like starting off with a full send. Let's go 15.
15, the full send. Get the GIF. Let's get this out. Let's fire them up. We got Luke on scoreboard stage. We're sending it. Going to the max. Keeping it there. Here we go. And we're going to start it off with the classic wild start. And Luke got the scoreboard ready to go as well as we run it clean. And we talk about with the, of course, the classic draw there. We talk about, oh, jeez. This must be one of those sound effects all good there. We talk about this here, you know, with the wild starts and everyone's drawing back. It's like full send +1. With Nifty going red 9, ironically. That was one of the last cards that we saw in game 3 for a winner for Shaddix. I think it's going to be about number efficiency today. You look at the way Nifty played the last time against Jackson, playing those numbers, controlling the ammo for Marble. I want to see what his aggression level will be at the start. You look at the way both players have talked about watching film as we go to the Tricolor 6. I think that will be an interesting point of contention here. as we continue. Here comes Nifty. Does he make the first break on the switch? He'll play it clean into the lemon too. Let's see how Marble can squeeze any more juice out of the red, or is he going to go for the switch? Taking his time, loading up. We talk about this here in this first time coming into the season. You got to use your tools. It's important. Those tools are key. Card history comes into play, especially when we get to the end of these matches. Double play. As Nifty going to be the first one to throw a little bit of ammo into the bouncy combo in the puzzle, Dan, for a double. That will put Marble behind the 8 ball for now, but still plenty of time. We'll be back to the original start, technically with 16 cards after the draw. Here comes Marble looking to answer. He'll go one up to Dr. J. Let's see if the switch happens. You tend to see a switch right here after a double play sometimes. And there's the switch into that double play, looking to close it out on this yellow. Minute Maid in the Lavy. Here comes Nifty. He goes into the lead with the yellow 4. Now, does Marble have a chance to go back to red on a crossover? Does he run it and oblige with this yellow? Second color choice on the table. Time will run into the yellow with the classic AI card. And we go into Devin, who played Tommy tomorrow into the yellow 7. Nifty running. Here comes Marble looking to respond back. Does he have an ISO back to red, or is he going to run it clean? Plenty of cards in there. What did he get off that +2 return? Now Marble loading up. He'll play into the switch. We'll open up Pandora's a little more green. Into Dan. Nifty's out. Now, does Marble have a double number, or is he going to risk it here and play this one aggressive? Talk about this. He's got double number. There's the read on the money. Nifty gets a top deck. Can Marble figure out a way to maybe play another card in the green? We just got there. Does he have a 0 to try to limit options? It's the next card you always think about in the question. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not have cards access to the game. These are just good reads. Here comes Nifty once again. He's drawn. Marble limiting his chances. It's going to come down to top decks. Marble doing a great job. He's going to continue to play the low ball. Does Nifty go for one switch to try to break this momentum? Here's the answer. Does he get a top deck, or he just go for the 1, maybe get into it? He goes back to the 1, switch into the yellow 1. Again, this is just classic. Find a read. Try to get your player, get the opponent and player off the game. It's a classic drawback double versus poker style. Poker back pile. We go back to the blue 1. Let's open up Pandora's more. Oh, man, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing some insane Uno here as they go into Pandora's box. We're absolutely going nuts. Where's that? We got a five pair of 1s, is that? Yeah, how about that? 5 pair of 1s into a rainbow, and it's nothing for Nifty Marble using number control out the wazoo to rally back to tie this game at 8 and looks for the lead here in this first game of 7 potentially. Here he comes. Does he have a potential staller here, or does he look for a potential play off that +2 return to get to where he wants to be? Taking his time. There's the +4, and now he's got a huge lead from nowhere to somewhere for Marble with the +4 and a white in Orion C to take a nice lead as he'll go to blue from Nifty. Is this a try to get an ISO, or did Marble save some in the back? Did he have some extra marbles on the old ice rink? He does. He'll go into a blue 2. That was his next move potentially as well. Now it's a double ditto play into Daniel Voiles. Can Nifty find a way back? No, he's going to play. He's just going to let these blues play a little calm before the storm action. Marble looking for some more here on the blue. Did he save any more? Does he have a 4 action to switch back to maybe a green or a red? He'll go for a double play. Looks for a potential win. Goes with the classic. Don't run too crazy. 2-2 chain. Something to keep in mind down the road. Here comes Marble looking for the fish. Into Ryder. Into Odin. Does he have it? He's got the finish. And it's Marble up 1-0 with the classic 5-bagger. Holy moly. You got to say right there, I'm going to go to Marble because he's typing. Should have went to him at the beginning. It's my fault there. Marble, what a play, man. I almost read that game out of control. I had a feeling you were going to try to play those double numbers and you had a 0. That was absolute perfection. Talk to me about how you were able to play that isolation on green, and did you potentially get a good +2 return? That was the only action card Nifty really had. Was that +2 beneficial to secure that game 1 win? You know, Nifty, you had a real good shot at momentum. You went early with the +2. You did a great job of getting the run, but then ultimately stalled out. Do you think the fact that just the lack of green or the pocket pairs of numbers is something you could put in the memory bank on this full send to adapt for the game too? He did a good job there to ice you out at the end of the day.
Yeah, he definitely had some nice color control, especially getting me on green. I was struggling with green from the very start. So I didn't want to have that weakness be too apparent early on, but yeah, just whittled me down there eventually. I do want to say that I was holding back on a bit more of the ammo, thinking that Marble didn't have quite the cards to make a run there, but I was wrong. So maybe I should have laid down a little more and tried to push ahead for myself. That could have stalled out the game more and potentially worked in my favor. So good job to Marble, but now the reason I like these 15 card starts is because it helps me get a really good read on what my opponent does with when they have all the options. So I'll be looking ahead for that for what's next.
That's a good strategy, right? You go to the high end tier 15 cards and you think about, okay, they made 7 to 10 moves, and now you can have that read in the back pocket. That's interesting to note, ladies and gentlemen. We had Nifty holding back a little bit, maybe just trying to get Marble style, feel it out, right? And for Marble, he did a great job on those double numbers. Did the culture pay off? Okay.
Oh, that culture gave me the red +2, so I mean, it gave me a little more ammo, but I don't know if it paid off.
Yeah, I really don't think you can pay. It don't pay off when you lose. Green won me that. I had a feeling it was partially about getting good before draws from Nifty after being pushed into drawing early and risk with the +4 relatively early on worked well this game. But yeah, and that was it, right? It was just a double number. I had a feeling just those double numbers. Sometimes you go back to that 1, you go back to that 0, the pocket 7s. You just start to think those double numbers. That's how you can win a game. So good work on Marble. Nifty will try to adjust here as he said, he went for the full set, which is open again, but we'll see what he does to change it up. All right,
Yeah, this
Nifty,
time
it's
we're gonna
game. Go ahead,
we'll
man.
go
Game 2.
12.
You going for 12?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a dozen donuts right here. Looking to potentially tie this up or maybe get some more reads. We'll start it off with the guy that needs some help right now. He's down 3-1 Rajon in the other match. This is big here for a lot of people had Raj high on the radar, so that's something to keep in mind. Here comes the Nifty again, starting it off clean and cool. This was the red +2 we saw at the beginning, as Luke does a great job on the scoreboard. And there's a yellow 5 switch. Already Marble aggressive. This could be one of those plays, though. Try to maybe yield them back into red and bait them at the end. We'll find out. 0 sugar into the Marble from Nifty, playing the card. And we do know that guy. We do know that guy. And, of course, Marble going to go to the floor. And there's the switchback. So Nifty already saying, okay, Marble, what do you got in red? Let's see. Does he fade it back? Can Marble fade this back, or does he have trip 9 in the pocket? No, he does fade it back. Excellente. He goes for a double Minute Maid OJ, as they like to call it. Here he comes. Does he have a triple or a quad to potentially get into a new color to open up Pandora's box some more? So Marble, once again, he does, and it's an insane play. How about a quintuple to get to green into the west to finish it off? And once again, it's Marble taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach. But for Nifty, there was no cards given. Going back with the 9. Did Marble save a 9? We talk about this bot. Sometimes those cards can work in handy, but he doesn't need to save 9. He's got more green. So Marble, again, use a little bit more of that fuel in the tank to get some runs. Nifty going to try to counteract here. Does he have a switch? Red and green, just those Christmas colors. And that's Nifty going to double up into the lime, to the Telna. Here comes Marble. Does he have 4 efficiency to get to yellow or potentially a new color in blue? Let's find out. No, he draws, and now Nifty can start playing his double numbers if he has them. No, goes to Dumb James with a 5. Marble looking for a top deck to possibly switch it over to break momentum. It's all about momentum, and that's nothing, just a top deck to a 2. And Nifty's going to draw. Did Marble have a 2 saved, or is this going to be Draw City? It's Draw City for now. And who gets the top decks? Nifty drawing. Marble, does he push the pace right here? He's been known to push it so far early in this game. And he will into the yellow 2. Called it. Now in the pie. Orokai back to the yellow 9. Here comes Marble once again in that red zone. 4 cards. Could be a 4-card chain to finish it off. Let's see if he's got it here on the yellow. Or is it going to be numbers to the end? He'll draw. So now Nifty with the chance. Nothing. It's 2 color. Oh boy, when we get to that ice cold blue, that's something to watch. Both are drawing back. And we talk about this in a game of Uno. What you get in these draw cities into isolation could be the difference between winning a series and losing a series. And for both guys, absolutely going to play the patience game, play the long game, and try to go for the kill shot later. There's a classic topper from Marble. And it's just going to be another topper from Nifty. So that's going to be a classic. Who's going to switch first? Who's going to bite? Does Marble go for the bite? He does. He goes into that blue. We talked about that ice cold blue, but he's got 3 possessions in hand. Nifty goes for his first big run here. Goes for a triple. Can he close it? He got a quad. Can he get it? He does. And now the score has flipped. It's once again Nifty up by 4 possessions. A little touchdown field goal action. Where does Marble got on the back end? Where did he get off that return? 2 cards about it. With it being a low ammo game so far, other than that one big run we saw off the top, it could be a potential switch back. And Marble says, not so fast. I'm going to match you. Anything you can do, I'm going to one-up that better. As he goes into a Tim. Double +2 combo. Now, it's Nifty back once again trying to figure out how to get this back in his control. It's a game of momentum. And he says, you know what? Let's go to green. Let's test it out. Let's see what that +2 entails for Marble. He's got nothing. Now, Nifty can run the greens. Has to pick the right numbers. Nifty. Pick the right number. He will. That's a great choice into the 0. But is there a 0 flex potentially coming? We've seen it, and it's not going to happen. No 0 flex. So now, Nifty can run these numbers clean and efficient. What's it going to be? He's going to go to the blue into Gabe, and you're looking at the card history right here. Blues is a safe color. You know there's no +2s coming, so it could be a potential strategy play. Does Marble have the reverse skip meta to get out of it? We've seen some. He says, not so fast. Let's just throw a Bob into a puzzle, Dan, and get the scoreboard and momentum back in your favor. And once again, it's been about just the scoreboard. Flipping the board, getting that control, getting that momentum. That's what you got to do to figure out what your opponent could potentially have. Good job by both these guys trying to flip that scoreboard and get control of this game. Now Nifty with, again, a little bit of a think-stop moment there. What does he got? Does he have an answer? We've had so many answers this entire game so far. Marble looking for something right here on the back. He will. He's got the red too. He'll play this one clean. Nifty looking for a potential shockwave right here after getting down 5 possessions. Does he have one? He's got the +4, and again, it's +4s and ammo out the wazoo off the shelves. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? We are seeing a game of this control. Who wants control? And that's what both players are basically saying. I want control. You want control. I want... It's back and forth. We've seen chess matches. This is bazooka going wild. We go into the blue 5 in the sky. Here comes MarbleCyde and Nifty going back and forth. Can Nifty answer? Tie game, but he's got possession. He will. In the hole, blue 3. Marble once again now iced out on the ice cold blue. Can Nifty run with any double numbers, or does he play this one effective? Looking to tie the score at 1, but he'll go into Nova, hoping that's the right number. Can Marble potential ice her back? Right now, you got to say Marble has a little bit of a chance if he gets the right draw. Say 2 +4s out there. Who's just thinking that he's going to end that nonsense and say, you know what, another Bob Ross combo. And it's time into 5, and it's again Marble taking control. Who wants control? It's Marble this time. Back and forth we go on the +4s, but only 1 +4 remaining. And Nifty says, not so fast. Let's try to open it up some more with this yellow. But that's a new color we haven't seen in a minute. That could give Marble some life. Is that the life Marble needs? Ooh, that's interesting. That is intriguing because it's a double. Sometimes you could be running out of cards right there. But Nifty's going to match. Now the question is, does Marble have to switch on the 8s? Plenty of chances. Let's see if he's got the switch or a potential closeout. He got the 1. So it's going to come down Nifty right here if he's got a potential switch back. No, he's going to stick it with the 1. Marble for number efficiency for the win. No, great. Ice cold cojones down there from Nifty. And they're going to go into another draw. See, top deck could be one thing to keep in mind, though. We have seen it before with 1 more +4. And there's the top deck into red. Lucky Marble again. He had some extra marbles. Is this for the win? Does he have the red double finish? He does, and it's Marble with a little top deck luck, top deck magic to get the 2-0. Oh, that's a huge upset. Shax beats Rajon, and we talked about this. Rajon was a top-rated rookie. That now I'll have to do a little research on who the next one could be. Maybe Red can do that. We'll get to that later. I'm gonna go to Marble. Obviously, definitely a lucky run, man. But that game was back and forth. You guys were throwing haymakers. Talk to me about the adjustment from a low ammo game, the first game, to a second game where it was high ammo. How do you have to adjust to the two different styles the bot's been delivering so far? Nifty, kind of the same question. You had some momentum there, but then ultimately he just kept throwing +4s. You kept throwing +4s. Do you think scoreboard and just getting control is the name of the game of the series? Because right now, from what I've seen so far, name of the game is control and trying to control that scoreboard to get to the finish.
Yeah, it's just about trying to not let them get too close to the finish and seeing if I can make something work out of all the stuff that still gets thrown at me. I was definitely looking at the card history a bit more to try and judge which numbers to play when as the game went on there. But yeah, I mean, Marble just got some of the lucky draws at the end there and had the connection to get back into red and ice me out. So yeah, that was a good control on the red for sure.
Yeah, away from Marble. We talk about this. Thanks for the update. We talk about this. Isolation is the one thing we always talk about in this game. If you can ISO your opponent, leave it up to chance with the draw city. And I think Marble basically had the ISOs, and then he got iced down in the yellow. But then ultimately it came down to just a lucky top deck. If Nifty would have just played, I don't know, or if he would have just drew back on another card, you never know. It could be a different story. So it's a game of inches sometimes, and sometimes you just have to accept that and play the right strategy. And I think hindsight's 2020, but Marble so far getting a little bit of that lucky magic. Ammo wise has been interesting because +2 control has been something to keep in mind. Big difference to me is that low ammo is all about numbers and make sure you keep the right cards around, while high ammo is more about control and using the ammo. You get to twist your hands in your favor. You ultimately got lucky at the end, but back and forth game is intense. Going back to red once more with the +4 ultimately worked out in my favor, even if I didn't initially have the run to get to the end. Yeah, that's the key, right? Sometimes when it's a high ammo game, you know it's going to be fireworks and there's more ammunition as Dino joins us. That creates more of a environment for your opponent versus a low ammo game where number efficiency and control will matter more as the series goes on. But it's a best of 7. We've seen 2-0 comebacks before. We've seen series turn to best of 3s in a heartbeat. And for that, we'll go to Marble. Marble, you know the drill. No 12, no 15. Everything else is free game. What are we thinking? Like it splits in half. Goes for the classic 5 on the right, 5 on the left. That makes 10 fingers on your toes. All right, here we go. We'll go into the tricolor. Another red start. So again, red has been the popular starting color. We'll see if Marble can potentially switch it or go clean. Oh, there it is. He's been classic with the switch done. I like this aggression. I like this aggression. You saw it earlier in that last game. Just stay aggressive. Get off that color. Get your opponent potentially thinking you have no red, and play a little bit of a double number back to finish the game. Power play will come into play if you're Marble 2 at this point. You start thinking about, do you want that 3-0? But again, the aggression is continuing. Lavi Tommy into the Dino triple. Oh, this is going to be a big moment for Nifty. I think he's going to say, you know what, let's run it clean, but there's going to be a moment where I almost have to take that time out and assess the situation if he has the ammo. Because Marble's trying to run. He's really running. Going crazy. Chris Tago. We're going to go for the trip 4 action. And this is where the red we talked about. Did Marble save the red? This is where Nifty said, you know what, let's test it. And he saves the red like a veteran. These guys are both veterans, though, of this league. They know how to play it down here. Some good Uno. Nifty going to go for a double. Make that scoreboard a little tighter, but it's still Marble by a possession. Can he get this into the 2-possession lead? Does he have a nice hand and finish it off? That'd be some. No, nothing, and this gives Nifty a chance to take the lead back after being down early. Portis versus the hair, double numbers. Is there a 9 for a potential switch from Marble? He had that earlier 9. Does he switch it back into a blue or green, or plays into a yellow? Nope, can't. Draws, Nifty now can run the reds. He's still going to just play around the game. Dance around the numbers, hoping no 1 will land in the favor of Marble. Nifty getting close. He's in the red zone. Here comes Marble looking to potentially answer with a new color. Did he get a top deck pluser? Those are really the options you think about when you get to this red zone. How do you stop your opponent? How do you stop them in their tracks? And there's the top decks, potentially. And we just saw that Deja Vu game 2, a classic red blue +2 into a 6, this time into a Voiles, stops Nifty in his tracks, and once again, this could turn into a high ammo explosive war. It's going to turn into a high ammo explosive war because here comes Nifty back with a triple of his own. And just like that, it's Nifty back in control up by possessions. Marble looking to potentially close it. He'll get it right back. It's absolutely fireworks now. Back into a Jabba, into a goal, and it's Marble up by 1 possession. Nifty looking to tie the possession arrow clean. Does he have another ammo explosion right here? Off the chains, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the way we like it down here sometimes. When it's high ammo, the bot's giving you both. How do you play it? How do you get control on the scoreboard? Makes the difference. And Nifty against 4 straight plays where both players made at least one action card in their play. Can we make it a potential 5 for 5? No, we'll get a ditto, and that calms the nerves of both right there. Nifty draws. Is Marble low on the green? Can he run some more? He's been aggressive with these switches, and so far the aggression is paying off because Nifty is juiced, and again, Marble can dance around the numbers in blue. He'll try a 1. Does Nifty have a 1? We saw that earlier. He does have the 1. That was one of his last cards played. He'll go to yellow. Does that give Marble an opportunity? Yes, sir, it does. Marble back in the red zone. It's back to 7-3. Nifty cuts it down to 6-3. Into the Sports Boy 3. Marble looking for a run to the finish. He's got a heat check right there. It's that Ardent Red Wild. How does Nifty respond? Because earlier we talked about the red fade. This is the red fade I was talking about at the beginning of the match. Does he have a double number? Potentially. How does Nifty stop it? He can't. Is this a power play with a double number for the win to go 3-0? Or does he save it? Weigh his options right here. Nifty. All he can do right there is just... Ladies and gentlemen, they don't call me KT Diamonds for nothing. Here's a potential number efficiency play for the win. He goes for the red 0. Oh, he gets the KT sneak attack in. Holy moly. Does that for the boss potentially. Gosh dang, he gets the job done. And I like that because the 8 had not been used. That's a great call. I'm going to start with Nifty. Could you have stopped that without the power play on an 8 or a 0?
No, I could have won with the power play earlier, but with Marble being iced on red, I just needed to get that last red card out of my hand, and then if Marble had drawn again, that would have been game. But they played that that +2 chain and fired on back and ruined that win. So kept it going. Wow. Congrats,
right?
Marble.
On the 1? Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh man, that's just a great read, man. Marble, once again, the way you've been reading this game, man, the way you've been able to take it into your hands. You got the 3-0. Sure, you lost the power play, but 3-0 is nice on the board. How did you attack? Once again, one thing I noticed so far, just aggressive, not caring about really the switches in terms of just playing conservative, playing aggressive on the switches, using every color and hoping the numbers fall your way. That package is working. What's been working as well alongside that package on these high ammo games? Because other than that first game, the last 2 games have been out the wazoo on ammo. Both guys have been firing. Mark just hits us up. I mean, right now you got to say this is a game of runs and momentum, and when it's high ammo like this, it's so far favoring Marble. Though Nifty again has that power play, looking to avoid the sweep. Marble right now hot on the trails right here. Minor, there is a game at 4:30 that'll be puzzled in. Coming up a little later, but man, I'm just impressed by both guys and just going crazy, going for a little bit more of that high ammo game, trying not to get the opponent to get too far out in front, right? You don't want to get them too far out in front, keep them in your sight as they continue to both duel it out here in a wild best of 7. Even though it's 3-0, it hasn't felt like a 3-0. There's no doubt. It definitely has felt more of a 2-2 or a 2-1. In fact, I had another +2 back if I held it because I didn't want to get too many cards, so that's fun, right? Well, ammo control. Outside of that, switches are big for me. Yeah, I usually play a lot caller, but this time I'm hoping to catch my opponent off guard, which is working out so far. 3-0 isn't a done deal. I'm going to do my best to take this. Yeah, that's it, right? We talked about game planning. If someone knows more of that cleaner, conservative style, well, you know what the best element of surprise is on the periodic table? Boom, hit him with the switches, hit him with the back doors, hit him with the ammo control, and hit them with a little bit more of the aggression that they may not be expecting. So that's something to keep in mind as we go into this game 4 for Marble. Looking for the sweep. Can he get it done? Or is Nifty with the power play advantage? Figure it out. All right, Nifty. You're going to have to figure out something later, but it's Marble's call. Marble, you know the drill. No 10, no 12, no 15. And again, keeping it in that upper tier, we're going to go with the OG full send into 13. We'll go to the green. We'll go to the Dumb James. It ends the red train on the starting card. So now this green 5 is a good potential switch over for Marble. He's been switching all game on these first 2-3 turns. Let's see if that continues. Ladies and gentlemen, the trends just continue to say, as we go for the back door, gonna see if he ices out the green. I think Marble fades it pretty dang well, potentially with a little reverse skip meta as a save. And he'll go for something there clean into the G6. Popping bottles in the ice. If you know, you know. Here comes Nifty on the back door into the green. He'll go for a potential, okay, double play right there. He's going to play the double numbers, a little ditto. And Marble, again, did a great job fading it. But right now, Nifty seems to have potentially an advantage if they run out of green because he's got the possession arrow. He's just going to go for a kill shot early, a little kill shot into the +2. We've seen the control again. But remember that game 1? What did Marble do really well? Didn't panic. He had that early +2, didn't panic. Does he panic here? I don't think so. I think he's going to play this one with a potential light switch and then just play it cool and see where it goes from there at the most. There it is. There's the light switch with the triple play. Go play it cool. No ammo cards given. Tighten that scoreboard up and see how Nifty can handle a new color. Both guys playing this strategic. Nifty, does he go aggressive here? He knows he's got to try something. You're down 3-0. You got to try something. Here we go now. Marble going to play this cool. It comes down to numbers at this rate when it comes down to low ammo. We talked about this. If you can have the right numbers at the right time, you can definitely deliver a win. Well, again, down 2 possessions, though. He'll have to be the hunter here, while Nifty's the hunted. Here he goes, looking to potentially tie the game. He's going to go into not really a crazy heat check, but a small heat check into that Brie Blue. See if Nifty has a chance to fire away on the back end. Now I think right here, folks, he wouldn't go to blue if he didn't have an ammo or just the classic +2 combo to get Nifty back at some point. So something to keep in mind. He's going to play it cool. Maybe he's going to get off the top. Here comes Nifty. He could play into the red zone right here. Nifty looking for that win. Remember, power play. He's going to go for the +4, and that's just going to stall any momentum at all that Marble had. And again, could this be a split ammo play? We have seen so many times +4 into a split. Marble says, not so fast. Let's go back to that B9. See if you got it. Oh, Nifty with the crafty trips 9 into the red, trying to get Marble off his game. Can Marble fire in with the red +2? It's been key for him, but not this time. No blue +2 combo to save him this time. Nifty driving closer. He gets it done. Split ammo, and we got ourselves a 3-1 as he's back in the game. You know, Nifty, that was pretty much a classic. You had the split ammo. You had the +4s at the end. But I will say that game, testing Marble back to the green, ultimately burned him out and juiced him out. It gave you a little bit of momentum. Talk to me about how you juiced him out early and gave you that momentum to steal one here for sure.
Yeah, I just saw that I had a lot of connections with the numbers on my cards. I was actually a little taken aback seeing the 5 swap right away, but I had 5 on every color except for red. So I was like, if it stays 5, I got some good control here on what color I want to run with for the rest of my plan. And it just, yeah, kept going from there, held off on those +4s and just kept praying that Marble didn't have any +2s or ammo to throw at me. And it worked out that time. So I'm glad that I managed to make it work. I was ready to use the power play if I felt like I needed to, but evidently I didn't need to take that risk and paid off. So still got a shot.
Yeah, big. I think big thing right there I take away really, Marble, and you'll agree with me here. Ultimately, you got burned by the green because I think you wanted to fade that green. Did you have a potential +2 or something waiting in the wings, or ultimately do you think that first read of switching early, unfortunately you had a 5 to counter back in green, may have cost you? Is that something you have to keep in the back of your mind? Hey, if I switch, maybe I got to be careful, especially considering it's going to be a game of really just take your chances now with that power play still working on his end. And that's the thing. When you have that power play still working, it's something to keep in mind because when you don't have it, you have the lead, you have 2 options. It's either A, you got to be aggressive and switch like Marble tried right there, or B, you got the 3-0. You got to start learning on the fly, too, how to win without it. So that's something to keep in mind. He's got to learn how to win without it. Well, Nifty, he has everything to play for. You can get a win right here with or without it. It's still big. If you get it without it, 3-2, then you start thinking about, okay, how do I try to force that game 7 with it? and just say, let's have a square fight. That's how you always try to approach it when you're down the scoreboard with that power play. It's a leverage play. Yeah, this time I didn't have anything to play into that. Ultimately, it was just a play. Yeah, get rid of my reds. Didn't want to have any kind of connections on that 5, but the switch right back definitely did me this round. Very well played from Nifty. Yeah, he controlled that. And sometimes when you got split +4s, it's an easy split ammo strat. We see that so many times with so many players that Chomik, Eli, Allen, all those guys have made famous in the past, and now Nifty does the job right here. Well, that's a big game for Nifty. Avoids the sweep and has full control. Well, Nifty, it's been high octane. We're putting in the nitrous oxide so far on the figure skating arena. Where do we think we go from here? Because it's all been upper tier. What do we got?
Yeah, this feels like a slight risk for me, but I'm gonna go with the classic 7-card start.
Oh, gee. All right. Well, there we go. We're going to drop that basically in half. Let's see how the algorithm takes this one. We'll start off with the DV2 into the Dan Voiles 2. And once again, Nifty has that power play advantage, but Marble's got the scoreboard. And it's the age-old question. Do you want the scoreboard or do you want that power play? To be honest with you, it's situational where it's how you use it, and that's a great start for Nifty. Even though Marble drew, that's a great start. Play the draw city, you have the possession, and see if you can get those top decks to control the scoreboard. It's not the worst start in the world. Up a possession. Now, Marble, if on the other hand, with this draw city, you're just waiting for that right time. You're just waiting for that right time, try to break out and make a clutch play. See, there we go. Nifty again can use that potential scoreboard to his advantage. It's 3 possessions. Does Marble panic? He will into his switch, and this gives Nifty a chance, but does Marble have something in return? He does. Trips A in the goal. We have seen so many times that someone makes a play, it's an undercut over to the other color, whether it be red, blue, green, or yellow, into the Clint green from Marble. Here comes Nifty. He went to green for a reason. Does he have something here again? Controlling the scoreboard so far. He's looking to control the board. He's going to go back with the double numbers. That's interesting. Going with the G8s. Maybe looking for Marble to potentially use some ammo, but he doesn't have anything here. Does he have the switch? No, he's going to play the G1. There we go. Got it going with Dino. Marble looking for a backdoor switch. He's going to play the +2 and get control. We talked about his +2 game, trying to get that +2 control going and rip the scoreboard in his favor. He'll go for the Jabba Ryan C combo. Now does Nifty respond, trying to get control back? No. Draws, Marble for the switch. Does he have the switch here or potentially a big run? He got the switch. Into the yellow too. Aggressive be damned, he says. Here comes Nifty again. Nothing but clean. Again, Marble in that red zone. Half off special into Sports Boy. Nifty going to go to the Rajon and try to potentially ice him on the red. He switched off it earlier, though, but Marble can oblige. Getting close to that red zone goes Marble. Does Nifty think a double? I had a feeling he would. Scoreboard tensor here. 4-3. Marble in possession, looking for 2 possessions. He got it back to the yellow 1, similar to game 1 with the yellow-red 1 combo. This time reversed. It was not the red 1, it's the yellow 1. How does Nifty approach it? Power play on the board. Does he use it here? What does he got in return? He's going to think this one through. Almost take that timeout. I think it's a smart call. Use that card history. Take the timeout. Give the audience a chance to catch their breath. Because this is basically a do or die move here. So he's going to take that timeout. We always talk about it in the game. I always talk about it. It's all about taking that timeout, taking that moment, taking that step back and encapsulate the moment. Almost let the moment don't become too big. Feel what you had, feel what the opponent could or couldn't have. Because we talked about this before. Split ammo with the +4 bang, it's over. So he's got to weigh that option. Here he comes. I think that's the right call. As much as you hate to use it, you keep yourself in the game and you just flip the scoreboard. And now you're hoping whatever you got on that potential card is not yellow or something, or a +4. So Marble, great call there, or Nifty, great call to switch it up. Use that power play, really for a defensive measure. See what Marble has. Timeout used. Let's see if Marble takes that timeout too, potentially, if Nifty gets the check. These in-game decisions, folks, that can make it. Oh, no. Is that the +4 dagger? Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? The +4 dagger. Marble calls his shot. It's not. It's just a classic triple play. And he got the yellow. It had to be the yellow reverse. Right? Had to be. It was just a double blue reverse. Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's a costly one. You know, Nifty. I would have made the same move though. I mean, you can't prepare. Did you have a finish lined up though, or is there nothing you could have done?
Green skip and green 4. There was no way to get the green.
Oh
That was my
man.
only hope for that match, just to stall out and get a draw city going until I got something. But man, it was that's a hard read. I was looking at the card history with a lower card start. It's like I said, it might have been a risk because I didn't have as much information on what his hand could have looked like, and yeah, it was just completely disconnected on the blue. Man, tough one, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this was still a fun game. Well deserved win on Marble's end.
Well, we'll go to Marble the winner. I mean, Marble, you obviously a little bit of some of those lucky draws, but they weren't the lucky top decks that we were thinking with the +4. A lot more unconventional top numbers and reverses to get the win there. What that last game I think was just pure luck, but the whole series it was about control. You had to adjust to a low versus high ammo game. You bookended. The first win was that low ammo. This game definitely felt more low ammo though. Not too much. A draw steady off the top. Ultimately, that 7-card OG was in your favor. Talk me through about the progressions you had at May playing a player like Nifty. You kept it upper tier, and what are your expectations as you move forward? As you got a man talent who's been hot, right? Being the one seed in any region means you're got a sign of momentum. How do you try to adjust and adapt for this match as you'll be at home? And of course, that will be the 5 seed MarbleCyde moving on to play talent. That little, I believe it's Australia, Netherlands. So that should be a fun one there. Nifty, you know, good tournament. You got that one win. Maybe not the end goal you wanted, but a good tournament nonetheless. How do you put yourself in a better position for the next tournament T2 as we'll move into March, March or April? I think March. I think March would be the next tournament for you guys down here, potentially late February, March. How do you put yourself in a better position in March to keep commentating matches, watch matches, and develop that playbook some more? Feel free.
Yeah. Uh, Obviously, I'm gonna keep following this tournament, keep seeing who the big players are out of this amazing rookie class that we got in this February Flurry. And yeah, continue to study where I can, practice with my partner Dia, and just continue to. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what the right call would have been at times here. Credit to Marble on being more aggressive. I think revealing that I had watched his past games might have not been to my favor because yeah, I remembered him being more conservative with the ammo and control, but here he was just all over the place. It was wild. So I think just starting off this season playing T1 has already put me in a better position than it did last season because I missed out on a tournament last season and it cost me to be, you know, just shy of making it to the LCQ and all that. So I still got plenty of matches left to go. I'm glad that I still got one win, made it to the round of 32 once more, and yeah, gonna keep pushing to hopefully get a new record best in the future here.
We'll keep fighting a good fight. Long season. That's the beauty of the season format. You still got 3 more to go, and anything can happen when you get to, well, let's say May and June. You start getting to May and June, that's when it's crunch time. But this was a match, ton of fun. Going against the 4C and Nifty, I knew it could be a good fight. This really was one. Ultimately, I think this match came down to mostly possession and ammo control, and really was one possession most of the time. And it went back and forth the entire time. Constantly kept me on my toes, so it was definitely a harder fight. A lot of switches here ultimately helped me out in a very different style than I usually play, which I might have helped in my favor, knowing that people are more familiar. So that's, again, element of surprise, adapting and adjusting on the fly to what the person may think, but you go for some elements right there. I'm looking forward to seeing how talented goes. And yeah, and that's really what it was. It was, if you have a game plan, who knows, you bring a package to the game. You know it's on tape. So what you got to do, you got to adjust. You got to say, okay, whatever that player knows about me, adjust every little element that you do the opposite. Whatever you got, you do the opposite. And sometimes you do the opposite, it burns you, but sometimes when you do the opposite, it's heaven. And for today, for Marble in a one-possession game, for most of these games, it came down to some lucky magic and some lucky top decks on numbers, which is rare. The rarest kind, for sure. You don't really, see that all the time. So that was an interesting game. I want to thank the fans out here, man. I really appreciate the support. 11 people coming onto the VC on 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, night, evening, or even the next day for some of y'all. Appreciate he's coming out. It means a lot. And again, one more time at that bracket, it's going to be Telna. I don't have it updated, but Telna versus Marble, the 5'9". Will we see the big dog Fitzwater? He's probably the most experienced guy. Shoot, he's been playing for so long. But Lemon's going to try to stop that and put a little lemonade in Fitzwater's cup to stop that. A lot more matches in store. The big news, obviously, today was the Rajan loss, the top-rated rookie. For him not winning, that makes things a lot more intriguing because now the top-rated rookie off the check could be. Yeah, I'll have to check on that. I don't have the answer off to the fly. Not sure who it is. Maybe Red, can you check on that? Who the top-rated, the best rookie remaining left is, if you can, before we sign off there. Something to keep in mind. I don't think it's Marble played it last year, so I'm not sure who it is. Who's the best seeded rookie left? It's not Rajan. Is there anybody left that I missed? Have you been keeping up? Oh, okay. Maybe. Well, I'll have Cody Smart check that. He's in. I did not see him. Otherwise, I would have had him commentate a little bit. Cody Smart, you got me. Who's the best rated rookie left? It might be Tommy. Yeah, and Tommy's a Tommy's an interesting case. That's all I'll say with that. He's a firecracker himself. So regardless, thank you guys. G will take over the stream. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations to once again Chef MarbleCyde taking care of business against Nifty as he'll move on to play Telna in a classic Australia versus Netherlands matchup. Good day to you whenever that match comes. And until then, this has been your boy T. I'll see you around the D2 parts and another stream near you. Have a good night and see you guys at 4:30 with G taking back over for Puzzle Dan and Marcus. Have a good one.